In this tutorial, I'm going to go over how to download a blank map, well, from us, and be able to navigate around it for Farming Simulator 25. Okay, so first thing I want to do is go to the FSG modding GitHub page. You can either Google it or click it down in the description. And then we want to go to repositories. And then we want to look for the FS25 blank map 2x. Now we do have a 4x if you want to do a 4x, and it has nothing on it. So you'll have to do pretty much everything as far as putting your placeables, your roads, plants, etc. It just has grass. Okay. In this case, we're going to do the 2x because it's a little faster to do it that way. Okay. So to download it, we just, let's see. I think we can go into this folder and then, nope, we got to download it from the other one. Okay. So we'll go back here. Just click code, download zip. Okay. Once that's done downloading, it'll show up in our downloads folder. And then we'll right click it and we'll extract all. And just for now, we'll just extract it here. Okay. Now we need to go into this folder and we see that there's our map folder. Okay. Oh, we need to go one more in. There's our map folder. So we want the folder that the modDesc is located in. So we'll go up one and we're going to go ahead and copy this folder. And then I'm just going to go up here to here. And then we can get rid of the other two because we don't need those anymore. Okay. So now that we have the actual blank map mod file, so to speak, we could technically open this up in game if we wanted to. So if you put this in your mods folder, you can start the game and join the blank map. Okay, now, one of the first things I like to do is go into my modDesc. We'll go ahead and open that up. And let's see here. Let me clear some old stuff here. So the modDesc contains a few things here. The modDesc version, that's kind of important. We want to make sure that we're staying to the latest version for the current game release, which at the time of this video is 94. Because if you push this to Giants and that number is not at the current version, they will kick it back and tell you to change it. Okay. So we have a few things here. We have the author, so that would be us. The version, if you're pushing this to Giants, your version should always be 1.0.0.0 the first time you send it. Even if you do a ton of updates before you send it, you still need to have that as your first version that you send to Giants. Otherwise, they will send it back. Okay. And then we have our title. So this would be the title of the map as displayed in the in game and in the mod info for the download, all that. And we have to provide an English and a German translation. The other languages, you're welcome to do them. If you want to add French or any of the other ones, you're more than welcome to. But the only two that are required by Giants is English and German. Okay, and then a description. So they want us to give a detailed description about the map, kind of explain some of the things that are different from other maps for your map, or like a kind of a storyline for the map, or anything like that. Just be creative. They do have a list on their website of things that they kind of look for. Okay, so for now, I'm not going to bother changing any of this. I'm just kind of going over it. And then your icon file name has to be map_icon. They will kick it back if it's not. So map_preview, so on and so forth. Okay, and what those are, where's my folder right here? This one is these two files here. And I don't know, will it show them as icons? Okay, so this is the icon that shows for when you go to start a new save game and it lets you select all the different mods. Well, this is what will show in there for the mods that are selected. So that's technically the mod icon. Okay, and then this map preview, this is what shows when the map is loading. So that loading screen, well, the map's loading. So it does have to be square, and Most of the time, you're only going to see the bottom half because of the way screens are, widescreen or whatever. But you still need to create um, an image for the whole thing. But all the detail needs to be near the bottom half. And then the upper half, I usually just do like the sky or whatever. Okay. And you can put some text in there if you'd like. I haven't on the maps that I've sent to ModHub. I can't say for sure if they'll kick it back if you have text in there. You cannot put your modding name in there if you're sending it to ModHub. So anywhere on this map, do not put your modder name or your modding group or any licensed materials that is not already licensed in the game on the map, or it cannot go to console. PC, they're a little more forgiving, but when it comes to console, they're pretty strict on the licensing. Okay. And then the title down here, this is what it shows in game while the map's loading. And then the description shows in map while it's loading as well. Okay. So that's how all that works. Store items. I don't really use this here anymore. I usually use that in an XML file elsewhere. Okay, and we'll cover all that in a future one. But anyway, that's the modDesc and kind of how it works and what everything means. Okay, go ahead, close that, and then in our map folder is the actual map. So if we open this up, we should see a map.us. I hate how the downloads folder likes to sort these, but anyway, uh, we have our map.us here. We have a shapes file. Do not edit or touch that or delete it. And then we've got our cache files. Now, if you're starting to have issues where things aren't loading right in GE and looking funky, you can try deleting these and then just make sure you do a backup of your map first. But you can try deleting those and then reopening the map, save it, and it'll create new ones. Okay. Now, I like to keep my maps organized. So all my XML files will go in this XML folder. And on my other maps, I've created a folder called placeables and stuff like that. So that way I can keep everything organized. And this is basically like my farmlands file, fields, hand tools, items, maps, placeables, store items, vehicles, etc. And environment, you can add that in here and then call it here. It's really up to you what all you want to edit. But this is the simplest um, setup so that it's the easiest for you guys to kind of get things going, right? Okay, we'll go back here. And then our data folder contains all of our weight files. So we'll just go ahead and view large icons. So this is all the weight files. So when you paint grass, this is what it does, is it paints on two separate ones here, grass 1 and grass 2. And it kind of separates them as you paint on the ground. So as you do your map, these other ones will fill for the texture that they are tied to, okay? And then we have our map height file. And here's our map preview. So this would be your PDA, as they call it, which is the overview map. So when you go into the map menu or view the map in the lower left corner, this is what we'll show. And I'll show in a video how to get a good shot of that. There's a few different ways you can do those. I like to go in and use my weight files to kind of create it to make it look like an old school type of map. That seems to be the best way for me. A lot of folks will just aim straight down onto the map and take an overall screenshot and then edit that in. But if you got a lot of mountains, it kind of throws the roads off a little bit. So using these weight files to kind of build a map thing tends to work pretty good. Okay. Now, if you're doing a real life location, it's not that hard to just, put that in here. You just got to line it up. Okay. So that's pretty much how a lot of this works. Now you do have these GRLE and GDM files, and they're basically image files, but in the Giants format. So that's what the G stands for, obviously. And what they do is they they contain multiple layers. Basically, each color represents a different uh, item or foliage or whatever it is, and it's compressed in a way that giants can easily load it because they're constantly updating and stuff like that. Like your fields when you plant them, that's where they save to. So the current field state, as it changes, will update in the file as a color, and so on and so forth. So we don't really mess with those. The game kind of just does most of the work there. But yeah, so they're there. That's what they're for. You don't really have to touch them. Now, if you do want to convert them to like PNG, there is a tool on the Giants website to do that. You can convert them to PNG, and then you can edit them, and then you can put them back in the Giants editor. And if you want to do it that way, that's fine. But I don't suggest messing with them if you can't, if you don't have to. Okay. All right. So now let's open the map and let's navigate. Okay. I've got 10.3. Make sure that's selected. Hit OK, and then let it load. Alright, now that's just loaded. It did take a couple minutes for it to load, depending on how much stuff you got on there. It may take a little while because got to put it all in your RAM or whatever. It's got to load it into memory, and it does take a little bit. Now, when you first load in, 99% of the time you're going to see all this purple crap. Okay, I don't really know what that is, but I know how to get rid of it. The easiest way to get rid of it is just to click your terrain height or terrain sculpt mode button, this one up here with the little up and down arrow. You just click it. Now this always takes a moment with GE10. Well, that was pretty quick, but it usually takes a moment for that to load. Okay, and then it takes a moment for it to unload. Okay, so I just opened it and closed it. Now I see this right here. That's that what do you call it? The graph for the center. We can just right click and let's see, show. It's in here some grid, and it's gone. Okay, so that's the grid, show grid. All right, and we have a map. Okay, so to look around, there's a couple different ways to do it. My favorite or preferred is to, on my mouse, right click and hold. Don't just right click. Okay, you want to right click and hold. If you let off or if you barely bump it or whatever, and you might hit one of these buttons. I've seen folks hit the wireframe and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what I did." Well, that's probably what happened. Okay, so you want to right click and hold, and then you can look around. So I'm holding down the uh, right mouse button and just looking around with the mouse. Okay. Now, while I'm still holding this, I can use the W, S, A, and D keys. So I can still move around. Now, as I'm moving around, if I want to go faster, I can hold shift, the left shift, just like in game, how you run around, okay? But you got to hold the right mouse button while you're doing this. Okay, that's the easiest way I've found to move around in here. Now, if you think that's too fast, you have your nav speed down here, which is currently set to 25. And if you use the plus minus button on your number pad, well, I wonder, can you do it over here? Okay, so any of the plus, oh, okay, so the minus button works on the regular, but it doesn't work on the plus. Anywho, or do I have to hold shift? No, okay. So the plus minus on your numpad, hopefully you have a numpad. So you can hold it down and make it crazy fast, or you can lower it down. So if you're doing like detailed work, you want to lower it down. If you're trying to navigate across the 4x map really quickly, you can bump it way up. Okay. So that's how you can move around there. Now, another way is to hold down the left Alt key. Okay. While holding this down. Now I can left click and look around. Okay. But I can't use my W keys or I'd start opening menus. But I can hold that Alt key and look around. Now, I can also on the mouse, the center mouse button, if I hold that down, I can move up and down and side to side. Okay? And that's while holding the left Alt and middle mouse at the same time. Okay, you want to do the left alt first and then the middle mouse. And you can let off on the mouse and just kind of navigate your way around if you like. Now this bit is useful when you're in the different tools here. Okay. Now if I right click and hold, if I go side to side, it zooms in and out. Up and down, zooms in and out. So basically if I move my mouse, it'll just zoom in and out. Okay. That's left alt and right mouse. All right. So in the regular view, okay, for some reason, anytime I do that, now it's stuck. There we go. I had to press the WSDA to get it out of that because when I was right clicking, it just wanted to keep moving forward. Uh, yeah, Giant Editor can be a little tricky sometimes. All right, thanks for watching, and we appreciate you taking the time to check these out, and drop a like or whatever. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more of these tutorials coming. If you'd like to see anything specific, let us know in the comments, and we're more than happy to do them if we know how. Appreciate you watching.